Hello? Oh. Woo!
Let there be sound.
Hello, Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. Hello. How wonderful to see everyone this morning, and hello to everybody who's online. I just am here to remind you to please turn off your phones or any other devices that will distract you, and to let you know that we have a wonderful musician today. Annie Benjamin is here taking Susan's place. We're happy to hear her. And I believe, do you want to come for announcements, Brian, now? Okay, we have a couple announcements, and then we will have a prayer by Greg, and then we will have a song. All right, Brian, come on.
All right, so we're going to do meta announcements now. Things are changing a little bit, so I'm going to give you an announcement about announcements. Whatever you want to have in announcements, try and get it in early to Tamara at announcements@rgcsl.org, and it'll be in the newsletter. If you don't, we'd really rather you try and get it in the newsletter, but that's okay. And meanwhile, Olivia and Chris have some stuff they want to share. And that's it for me on announcements.
Good morning. We're grateful for many people who are supporting Reverend Patrick's memorial. And I just want to remind you that the service starts at 6 p.m. If you are a minister or practitioner, please remember to wear your stoles or your robes. As far as the reception goes, dessert finger foods are still being requested, such as cookies and bite-sized brownies, and those can be brought to the center on Monday or Tuesday, preferably during the day. That'll help with traffic flow that night. We may still need a couple of people for the guest book, and then one more thing. A note to the kitchen team or anybody who might have food in the refrigerator. We are going to want to try to clear some space for the food that's coming in on Monday. And so if you have anything that can be removed today, we'd appreciate that very much. And if anyone has any questions, you can see me or Nancy Bowers. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm Olivia. Well, you already knew that. And I'm one of the founders of 505 YFEZ. And currently we're helping to host Hug-A-Buddies, which would be donating stuffed animals to people who need them, like young children. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'll go. Oh, nice. Okay. And so it'll be donating them to people who need it. And we'll be doing this until Easter. So if you have any new or lightly used stuffed animals, Let's just hope that, okay, there we go. We'd really appreciate it if you'd donate them so that we could help spread some love around our community.
Thanks, Olivia.
Greg, you're next. Hopefully.
Is it a battery?
That's funny.
All right.
Good morning. She whispered that I was next when she was walking up. And then I was really sure when she handed me the mic that I was next. So please join me in settling into this moment. Set aside whatever worries or concerns that may have happened earlier. And let the sacredness of this space move in around us. This sacred space made so by our intentions to be here, to listen, to learn, to grow, to know Spirit in a broader and deeper way for this time. And I feel the presence of Spirit here with us now, in, through, and as each of us. Spirit sitting beside us, in front of us, behind us, and indeed within, as we come together to celebrate this magnificent New Mexico morning. So I bless us all. I bless the service. Know it is good, especially blessing Reverend Abigail and her message for us this morning. So knowing that all is well, please join me as I declare, and so it is. Amen.
Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey. There you go. Yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much, Annie. Turn to somebody and say, "You're the light." And now tell them that I'm the light. There you go. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Reverend Gil William Olmsted, the spiritual director here, and I am happy to be here. And my pronouns this morning are he and him. So, I just want to share a second about what the basic things are that we hold to here at this center. Because there's 4 basic things we can kind of drill down to that set the stage for what New Thought is and for what Science of Mind is. So the first of those is simply... Okay, I've been gone a week, and my brain has left the building. So you'd think I would know this, right? That's it, right. Thank you. Thank you so much. So there is one God. Okay, see how hard that was? There's one God known by many names, all right? So no matter what you call it, it's still God. Secondly, our thoughts are creative. So when we think things, we actually have an effect on our world. And how we view the world changes our experience of it. So we are a part of that creation, always. You want to help me out again?
Love and a call for love.
Thank you, love. Ladies and gentlemen at home, I apologize. You'd think it would be easy. Now I'm sweating. I'm actually sweating. So, it's about love. How do we love? We love everything and everyone, and no matter what is showing up, it is love, because that is what Spirit is love. And finally, this is the only one I could remember when I started this process. You are whole, perfect, and complete. I am whole, perfect, and complete. There's nothing missing. There's nothing we need to find. We just get the opportunity to allow it to express. So with that, I want to welcome everyone who's with us this morning. If there's anyone here with us for the first or second or third time, we are glad you are here. We're glad you're with us online. Let us know in the chat. If you're in the room, you can say you're new or not. And either way, we're still going to bless everyone who's here. So what we're going to do is we're going to share this blessing, and particularly if you haven't heard it before, just receive it. Just receive it. So rub our hands together. Place them out to send the energy forward. We see you. We see you. We know who you really are. We know who you really are. You are a divine emanation of Spirit. You are a divine emanation of Spirit. You are love living on the planet. You are love living on the planet. And we thank God for you. And we thank God for you. Welcome to Rio Grande. Woo! Thank you so much. I'm sorry I'm so discombobulated. I really apologize.
You're perfect, whole, and complete. You are loved.
We did it. Thank you. That's good to know. So we're moving. That's it. And you're doing it, right? So why are you not up here?
I'm sorry. My fault.
Make me stand here and look dumb. Come on.
So please say with me our vision and mission. And it's on the slide, I believe. The slide will be up. There we go. Our vision, transforming our world with the power of love in action. And our mission, loving all creation through spiritual growth and service, always staying true to our highest self. And so I have a reading this morning when I read that the talk was about, I think, discomfort. All right, so I went right to our Science of Mind February book, which is Divine Discomfort. And I picked a prayer, a statement from February 20th, which was a few days ago. And I'm going to read that. If those of you who have this book probably have read it, it's absolutely wonderful. These are all wonderful for each day of this month. It's titled 60 Years Ago, and I want to say these are by Reverend Andriette Earl of the Bay Area, right? She's in the Bay Area. 60 years ago, those who profess to favor freedom and yet deprecate agitation are men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning, and that's a quote by Frederick Douglass. And may angels light your path to that indwelling city of God in your own soul. Ernest Holmes. Last summer, we celebrated the 60th anniversary of the largest gathering for civil rights of its time, the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. On August 28, 1963, an estimated 250,000 people assembled at the Washington Monument to protest racial discrimination and promote the pending Civil Rights Bill. This was the largest, most diverse, most integrated protest our nation had. I recently viewed photos from the march. I saw a sea of protest signs and thought, sometimes all we need to see is a sign. The signs read, America has a centuries-old debt to pay contracted on Emancipation Day. Jobs and freedom for every American, end segregated rules in public schools, voting rights now. They foretold a world that works for all, declaring the dreams, vision, and action required for us to live in freedom and justice. This iconic march was the only one of this magnitude. A sense of oneness prevailed. Hope fueled dreams and fanned the flame of faith. It was a perfect demonstration of our allies, advocates, and co-conspirators walking their talk. Allies are willing, understanding, accepting, and supportive of our wholeness, freedom, and justice. They demonstrate integrity, empathy, and uprightness. They speak up and stand up. Advocates support and encourage engaging in good trouble, necessary trouble. Their advocacy is creative and value added. They are spokespersons, game changers, and positive influencers. Co-conspirators always are in the deep end, fully engaged. Their participation assures the objective, often at great personal and professional risk. At the March on Washington, we were one. Black accord and interracial unity challenged our nation's conscience, and the affirmation is, I walk my talk in love and oneness. Thank you. And we have another song from Annie.
This is a song that I wrote. I sing at a lot of protest and a lot of social justice activities throughout the country, and this is beautiful. And I had prepared a different song, but this is one that we can all sing, and it's a campfire song, and I need you to sing with me because if we don't sing it together, it doesn't work. So the words are, don't forget life's blessings, keep love in your heart. It's that simple, and it goes exactly with why we are out making changes in the world, because we love each other and because we love potential of what we all are and can be and what we can do to help each other. So I'll sing through it a few times and you'll totally get it, because it's just one of those things. It's a waltz, so if you feel like tapping your toes this morning, please do. Well, you know that life brings changes, and sometimes those changes come along when the timing don't seem right. But if you pay attention to your lessons, then you know everything is gonna be all right. Here we go. We'll sing it a couple times. Love in your heart. Keep love in your heart. We'll do that again. Don't forget life's blessings. Don't forget life's blessings. Keep love in your heart. Keep love just when you think that you've seen the darkest, hours ever known by anyone. Just you remember that those shadows, they would not exist without the light from the sun. Don't forget life's blessings. Keep loving your heart. And keep love in your heart. One more time. Don't forget life's blessings. Keep love in your heart. Thank you. That was beautiful. Y'all are awesome.
Thank you so much, Annie. Thank you so much. Are we on?
I think I'm on, yeah.
You're on. Am I on? Oh, it doesn't sound like I can hear her great, not me. All right. You start.
I'll start. I can hear myself much better than you, Gil. All right. I'm Reverend Abigail Shire, and I hail from Center for Spiritual Living, Seattle. And my pronouns are she and her. And Reverend Gil and I just came back from convention in South Carolina. So instead of preparing a talk, we thought we would share with you insights and ahas and realizations that we had at the Centers for Spiritual Living annual conference. Yeah.
And I just want to say that Reverend Abigail was very generous in taking me up on this crazy idea.
I love it. I didn't have to prepare anything, which is great.
And I do want to apologize for being a little off kilter this morning. You know, Reverend Kamatar did a lot of work to reset our schedule, and I wasn't here last week when it first went off. And I'm not quite landed to be here at all. So anyway, as you heard, my name is Gil Olmsted, and my pronouns are he and him. And we wanted to start at that place because this morning's topic is about discomfort. And that discomfort is not really the problem. And what the experience that I had in this was having to think about how I function in the world and whether or not that supports other people. And you know what that is? That's uncomfortable.
Especially thinking about how I could unconsciously or unintentionally have an impact on somebody that is harmful in ways that I don't even know, because I feel like I'm a good person and I try to move through the world as a loving, thoughtful, generous, kind-hearted person. And it never, I mean, this is kind of crazy, but it never occurred to me that saying my pronouns every time I get up on stage would be a level of inclusion and love to people who are transgender, non-binary, gender fluid. And the odd thing is that I have several friends who go by the pronouns they, them. And it never occurred to me that in ministry, being on the pulpit, that every time I would say my pronouns, it would make them feel like they're in a place where they belong. I'm kind of shocked at myself. I mean, I use it in my women's retreats, but I've never used it on stage before. I do it on my Zoom. My Zoom, when I put my name in, I put my pronouns in, which is another way of being inclusive and welcoming. But it never dawned on me.
So I think the thing that got me was thinking about well, how is that really inclusive? Why do I have? Nobody here has a question about what pronouns I use.
Right.
Why do I need to say them? And what I realized was that's that point of discomfort, because I don't need to say them for me. I'm not saying them for me. I'm setting a place so that someone else who maybe gets misidentified has the place and the comfort level to say there so people know, so it doesn't become an issue.
And a lot of assumptions are made on our visual appearance, on what our pronouns are. And because I do go by she, her, and I technically, as far as some people say, I look female. But I have a lot of friends who are androgynous, and I have friends who look female, and they don't want to be called she or her. They want to not live in a gender binary, which is something that we're taught. It's a socialization tool, and they feel more expansive, and they feel like they want to belong to all of it, and that one or the other pronoun doesn't really describe them. And so they, them is kind of what the collective has come up with. It hasn't been like that forever. I mean, and there's other pronouns out there too. There's like 22 other pronouns out there, just so you know. Yeah, I did the Next Gen retreat, and there was somebody who wanted to be called Z, Zer, and Z was the singular, and Zer was like the I don't know. I have to keep working on it. It's a love, but it's my work to do, because I want to take a stand for love. And love says, I will do something out of my comfort zone to make you feel comfortable.
So why is that important as a community? And I think that's really the interesting thing, because for me, as we build community, as we create this idea of beloved community, what we're saying is that we are loving and open. And that crosses a whole lot of lines. Mm-hmm. And this is just one of them. But we have the opportunity / obligation, if we really want to be inclusive, to be aware of the ways in which we may need to step up a little differently. And if we say everybody's welcome, then everybody is welcome.
But that would mean that saying we're a welcoming community and actually behaving
There you go.
like a welcoming community might be two different things.
And where this came up was during the whole dang conference.
Oh, yeah. Every speaker, oh my gosh. I got my buttons pushed. I had a lot of realizations about how I am not being welcoming. And that was just one little slight thing on saying my pronouns. A change that I need to keep remembering to do.
So there's so much to unpack. I was really impacted by a lot of what we heard, and some of it was absolutely thrilling and exciting.
Yeah.
And one of the really cool things, and I'll jump to this because I'm going to.
Okay, go for it.
There we go.
I give you permission.
And that is, a big topic was collaboration.
Oh, yes.
Big topic was collaboration. Well, how can we collaborate if we're not inviting and open, A? And B, what does it mean to collaborate? Because, see, what I like to do is go somewhere and then tell people what my great idea is and then have them do it. And that's a hell of a great collaboration, don't you think?
Not really.
Not really, no. No, it's not. How do we listen? How do we really listen? Do we listen? Yeah.
I just have to say, I love this center. I think you all have a great story here. I think your story about combining Center for Spiritual Living and Unity in the area is a great story of collaboration, because to me, collaboration means that everybody wins. It's a win-win or a win-win-win solution where everybody feels like they're getting something. So you're not taking away. You're actually putting, I think Reverend Elijah had talked about it, this idea of synthesis, where you have two separate ideas, and by themselves, they're just by themselves, but whenever you come together in a collaboration, you create a third idea that doesn't take away from either of those other ideas, but creates something even better that is different than the two, and creates a win for everybody. And that's the world that I want to live in. And that's part of our global vision for centers for spiritual living, is that we create a world that works for all. And that sometimes means that we need to have conversations that are uncomfortable and challenging, but typically those uncomfortable spots are the places that reveal the most fruit and the greatest ideas come from. So instead of shying away from that discomfort, kind of leaning into the discomfort as a way through to a greater possibility. And I think that you all have demonstrated that here, and that's really cool. It's really special.
It's pretty incredible. And hold on, buckle your seatbelts, because it's going to be more. It's exciting. Reverend Amani and I talked. She's on sabbatical, so we can't talk again till April. But we talked at the conference, and we are both incredibly excited about this idea of truly collaborating, not making something have to happen that molds and blends everything together, but that has the possibility of what's that new thing that comes out of it. You know, what's that possibility? You know, what if we had a billboard up that said, Centers for Spiritual Living, find the place that loves you. 3 places, 3 different feelings. I don't know. Whatever. And all of our centers were listed. What would that be like? You know? And why not? So anyway.
Yeah, and I think you're kind of getting to also not just collaboration, but you're getting to the point of, why are we here? Why are we doing this? Why are we having these services? And it's beautiful because you talk about your mission and your vision. So people who come in for the first time, if you're here for the first time, you're like, oh, I get why these people exist. I understand. But really recognizing and knowing your intention, which had to do with spiritual growth and love, I noticed. And what is spiritual growth? It's often uncomfortable. Often.
Really? Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, you lost it? You know what? You don't have any more to say. Yeah. Are we going to do it again? Change batteries? Oh, cool. Okay, well, while they're changing batteries. So a lot of things that came up were about, social action, spiritually motivated social action. They were about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I heard something that really struck me, and that is, sometimes when we're in a group like this, we look around and we might go, we're a little bit homogenous. There's certain factors that we could look at and go, well, average age, higher than I want it to be. And that's for myself. That's all that is. Or, who's here and who's represented and all of that. But what they said that struck me was, we are incredibly different, each one of us that's here. We have some powerful differences, and some powerful things to offer. And so as we celebrate that, as we honor the diversity that we have here, it opens the space for other people who might be a different form of diversity to show up, because it's already honored and celebrated in this space. And so you start where you are.
I remember I had a prayer partner who's Black, and I said, your center, your spiritual community is very diverse with all different ethnicities and races involved. And I said, I just don't have that. Like, how do I start? And she's like, well, you don't go out and say, hey, you're a different skin color. Why don't you come over here? That doesn't work. She said, first cast the vision and just hold the vision. And by your actions and your intentions, you will automatically draw people in. And she did that. And what I found was that within my own community at the time, I had started a community. I had several Asian people. And what we started doing in our community is we started celebrating the Chinese New Year. And the people in my community who celebrate that, they educated our whole community about it, and we celebrated it. And we drew more people in just because we were celebrating what was already there in a different way. And so even, saying a prayer in Spanish, I mean, I know that the ethnicity here, we have a lot of, different Latinx community members, and having a celebration of the different cultures that are here is really good. Even for me, what I'm still learning about is I come from Irish and German and Prussian ancestry, and I really don't know a lot about my own background and traditions of where that all came from. And we had several speakers who came on stage at convention, and they talked about their ancestry. And I know my parents and I know my grandparents, but pretty much that's about as far back as I go. And I don't know anything about my Irish ancestry or my German ancestry or my Prussian, which is many different countries right now. I don't know much about the culture or the traditions or the people. But I do know that when I was in Seattle and I talked about the winter solstice, I did some research on New Mexican history because I was born and raised in Albuquerque, and found out that there is an indigenous tradition with the Kachina that has to do with the winter solstice. And I had no idea. So I got to talk about my own, I'll say, ancestry of being born in this city. And I brought that to Seattle on the beauty and the richness of this area, and embracing, it's not my own indigenous tradition, but it is a tradition that we celebrate the indigenous communities that are here, whose native land we are on, and to honor them and what they stand for. So that was just a really, just things that I've been thinking about as I was listening to some of the speakers.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I sometimes feel like I am really stunted when it comes to knowing anything about my history, my relatives. My wife can tell you the 14 different things that she is, and the ancestors that were enslaved and the ancestors that were countesses, and all these things, and I kind of go, yeah, we have a book. It's called the Olmsted Book, but they aren't really necessarily my ancestors. They're one aspect of it. So anyway, I think it's interesting for us to even just get to know ourselves
Right.
enough to share that. It's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, and I think one of the other opportunities too is to have representation on stage. So I just want to acknowledge Gail for bringing me on stage. I am one of the younger ministers in our teaching, not the only one, but when they had all the ministers who are under 50 stand, and we all know each other. There's not a lot. And
Well, the three of you stood up.
no, there's more than 3 of us, but yeah, maybe there was 3 at the conference. No, there was like 5 of us. So, but that's one way of representation. So thank you, Gil, for that. And also, I'm a same gender loving woman. And so anybody in the room who is queer or bisexual or lesbian or gay, just by me being up here, there's a space in the room for those people to know that they are welcome. So just think about those kinds of things too. It's like, how are we creating the awareness whenever we say, you belong here, whoever you are and whatever your gender is and your sexual orientation or your gender identity, or maybe your ethnicity or your age. I mean, ageism is a thing too. It's like, were the aisles made for somebody who is in a walker or in a wheelchair? Is there a space for, if somebody has a wheelchair, for them to sit in the community? Is it in the very back spot, or is it near the front? There's micro messaging that's going on. I know, it's unfortunate that Greg had to sit over there because there's a stage. The stage is made for people who are able-bodied. They can walk up these steps. And just thinking about all those things, I did appreciate that there's a little banister over there, though. I noticed that. I noticed that the words that are up here, for those people who are hearing impaired, they're going to be able to read the words, and that means something for them. It means that just because my ears don't hear what I wish they would hear, I can read the words, and so I feel like I'm included and I'm a part of this. And so that there's subtle messaging that goes on that's that is very diverse. But I see you're paying attention, and that means a lot. That means a lot to people who walk in for the first time, saying, "Oh, I don't have to try and read lips. I don't. Not that that was that accurate. I did notice that."
Well, a little secret: we had to tell it no more cussing, because it would say some really fascinating things.
I was secretly wondering if I said a cuss word, if it would come up. So
I don't know if it would if you actually said one, but it said it a lot when you didn't. So I was just going to comment on that, and this is just a really small thing, and it's part of us becoming, noticing those things that are a little bit uncomfortable. And we talked about the wheelchair space. We have a little sign that says space here for a wheelchair. It is in the back. It's over here on the side, and it's right next to where. There you go. There he is. However, when I got here this morning, there was a chair sitting there, and there's a little sign on the chair next to it that says this space is reserved for a wheelchair. But somebody had inadvertently put a chair there, so it really wasn't there. I mean, it's just stuff like that, and so anyway.
It's the thing that Reverend Ryan said, talking about being the people where we say we're welcoming, but instead actually switching that to saying, we designed this with you in mind. Yes. We designed this with you in mind. We were thinking about you before you got here. And that really impacted me. I was like, oh, am I designing things with all of these things in mind? Am I thinking about that? Yeah.
So, I want to just hit on one thing, and that is, why is there a bigger CSL?
What do you mean?
Like, why, what is this? Who in here did not know there was a larger organization.
Oh,
Is there anybody in here that didn't know there was a larger organization called Centers for
Centers.
Spiritual Living?
Centers for Spiritual Living.
Okay, well, that's pretty good. Somehow we're doing something right, because people actually, there's places where people don't have a clue. But why does that bigger organization exist? It is to help, it is to support all of us in the ways that we can grow. A lot of our classes come out of that space. This idea of coming together and collaborating, bringing everyone together and creating these opportunities for this, sharing the music and the other things that we share. You know, we find these things because we actually find them at other places. And that's, the question is, from there, takes me to, why Rio Grande? What is our why? Why are we here? Are we here to get together on Sundays and chat? Okay, maybe. All right. Are we here to come take classes? Hang out together, learn things? Yeah? Yes. Okay. Are we here to sing songs? Yes. Okay. Are we here to serve the community? Yes. How? How do we do that? As the community needs it. But are we designing our world in such a way that it is designed for them, for those? And I'm asking these questions not because I want anyone to feel bad or anything like that, because I'm really asking them of myself. That's really what came out of this, was really asking those questions, going, oh, you know, how could we show up in this community in a really more loving way in the greater community? And at the same time, bring your stuffed animals and hug them. You know, I mean, there's ways in which we're intentionally doing that, and partnering with this group of high school students who want to serve their community. We get the opportunity to not only do service, but we're supporting them in being in service. Wow, that's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to have the Unity folks in here.
Okay.
And they're going to be very upset with us. No, they won't be upset. But
Are you saying we need to wrap it up?
we need to wrap it up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think the thing to consider, and just ask yourself those questions, is who are we, and is this a siloed experience where you're getting what you need, but are you helping other people also get what they need out in the world? And I've noticed that it's really easy to be insular in our communities. It's a lot more uncomfortable to get out and to be out there doing things in the community. But community partnerships make a big difference. And also the way you are as a welcoming presence, where you designed this place for everybody in mind. And you thought about things that maybe isn't your natural thinking pattern to think about. That is really how we're going to make a world that works for all. And it takes all of us being willing to get into that discomfort and to get out of our comfort zones in order to grow ourselves, so we can be a place of greater impact and love in the community.
Let me just share an experience I had yesterday.
Okay.
I was flying on Southwest, and I got in line to get on the plane and bumped into a couple of people that were standing there and started chatting. We were in Dallas, catching the plane from Dallas to here. And we just started to talk and found out that they had moved here around 3 months ago from California. So, you know, we had some points of commonality. And when I got on the plane, I realized I need to invite them here. And you know what that is? uncomfortable. Right? And I don't have like a convenient card or didn't have anything with me, you know, and I was like, oh, what do I do, you know? And I actually got out found a piece of paper and wrote out some stuff, and they were sitting across the aisle from me. And so when we finally landed here and we headed out, we were coming out at the same time, so I ended up walking with him, talking, and I handed a piece of paper and just said, hey, I just felt like I wanted to let you know that, you know, we have a spiritual center at Rio Grande, and if there's anything that we could be helpful with, we'd love to do that. And here's the contact information. And then we talked the rest of the way out till we got our bags. And it was really powerful. And I think they really appreciated it. I don't know that they'll ever come, but they appreciated that somebody said something to them and invited them. And that's the space that we have to keep creating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we're only going to do things when we know we're going to get the result we want, then that sucks. And if we're only going to do things when we think that it's going to be totally comfortable and fun, and then that doesn't work. But see, the whole thing with uncomfortable is it's just the thing that tells us what's next. It tells us what's next. And so I just want us all to celebrate those places where there's uncomfortability, to honor them, and also to know that that's not the end of the story. That's just a little tiny piece. And when we push through it, wow, what can we create together? What can we do together? So that's our call, I believe, is how do we take that little extra step? Yes?
Yes.
I think we should pray.
How do you want to do that?
I want to stand up.
Okay. Do you want to like start a prayer and I'll end a prayer?
Sure.
Okay.
That's what we'll do.
That's what we'll do.
So we have practitioners and ministers circling the room, holding space, just simply representing the way in which we are always held in spirit. So I take this moment to be in gratitude for our time together, to be in gratitude for the love of Spirit everywhere present, for that one life, that one absolute, perfect, divine action which is present in our world and is present in, as, and through each one of us. And so I just take this moment to know that each time the opportunity presents itself, when that uncomfortable conversation pops its head, when we have a feeling like we stepped into it and we're afraid to apologize, that we take the next step because there's no reason not to. Because we are already the life of Spirit. And all we can do when we hold back is pretend that we're not. And so I'm done pretending. I'm going to declare that we are done standing in that place where we're not sure what to do next, but we open ourselves to what's coming through. And we trust that there is always the love of Spirit. There is nothing other than that happening. There is always love. And that each one of us is held and protected and guided and supported. All needs are met. All that we need is met. And that includes our mental and emotional and spiritual well-being. And so I take this moment to just be grateful. Just be grateful for all of it. And I pass my word.
And just acknowledging that gratitude for all that is. I declare that the infinite presence of love is moving in and through each and every one of us. Any barriers or boundaries within ourselves, I declare is dissolving in this very moment. any idea that somebody is the other because they are different than me. I release and surrender that idea. I know and claim that I stand in that place where love shows up. And that love continues to guide me and pull me forward in all my actions. And I recognize and know that even when I make mistakes, and even when I unintentionally say something that might have an impact that hurts somebody else, that when I am in the space of love, that healing occurs. And so I recognize and know that it is sometimes my healing that occurs. And sometimes it's a healing of a former idea or way of being that does not serve anymore. But I know that love truly leads me in divine right action. And so I celebrate that love. I celebrate this community. I celebrate who we are in the world. I celebrate that spiritual essence that I choose to see from this moment on in each person I meet, and each person, if I'm going out to lunch, that I see it in their eyes. If I go grocery store shopping, that I see it in their eyes. That I see that they are also the love of God as I am. And that is the place where we meet, in the place of love. And so I claim it, I know it, I declare it, I accept it, I am it, I embody it, and I express it this day. Again, in deep gratitude and appreciation. Let us together say, and so it is.
So it is. So it is. Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Abigail. Let's appreciate her for taking the time and being with us. So we have the opportunity now to just take a moment and lean into that space where all of our gifts show up. Our gifts of love, our gifts of service, our gifts of time, our gifts of the special things that we bring, and our gifts of money and monetary support. And so if you have a gift with you, if you've already put a gift in through the multitude of ways you can contribute to the center, or if you're just thinking about it, just hold that idea or that gift in your heart, and let's speak this blessing for it right now. I am abundant, and I give from my abundance. I am prosperous, and I give from my prosperity. I am blessed, and I give from my blessings. My blessings of spirit are as abundant as the stars, and so I give and receive generously. And so it is. And so those of you at home, there's things scrolling across the screen, ways to give. We have baskets in the front. Please feel free to step forward and just do that. And I think Annie has a song for us, because she looks ready. She's like, is he going to shut up or not?
No. This is a little song about overcoming personal diversity. Tonight she walks in darkness, but it's just a phase that she's going through. Give her a little time, you'll see. The surface is full as the moon. And although the stars seem bright, her face is dim and hard to see. Her heart is wan and waxy. On what love is supposed to be. And many have walked here, raised their flags and seen the view, but they've never gone below the surface. The surface surface of the moon. And you may see her up there shining, but there's a dark side that she hides from view. When evening's over, she returns to a place where shadows are blue, so blue. And many have walked all over here, taken and done things they shouldn't do, but they've just marred the surface, of the moon. Dig a little deeper, dig down to the core, fly a little farther, and then you'll see so much more. Then you see so much more. And tonight she walks in darkness, but it's just a phase that she's going through. Give her a little time, you'll see. As full as the moon's, a face as full as the moon's. Ooh.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. And it's with deep, deep gratitude that I thank each of us for our donations of love this morning. And I bless these gifts from each of us. For those of you that donated here, please know you were individually thanked by me as you came here. What a blessing it is to have you all here. And so please join me as we finish our time together today in noticing that sweetness, the sweetness of peace, ease, and grace, being in the company of kindred spirits who understand that love is all there is. And know that that feeling of ease and grace that we have now is always with us, always available to us when we simply remember who we are. And feeling it the way we do now, I invite us to take this out with us for the rest of the day. Share it with family, with neighbors, with whoever's in front of us in the grocery line, and know that ease and grace is yours and is theirs. So I bless each of us. Know that the rest of our day is blessed and safe and full of love. So finishing our time together, please join me as I say, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Greg. Where is Mark? Oh, there he is. Mark would like to come forward for a quick moment. A message from our board president. Here he is.
You can stay right here. So we wanted to let you know that we had a personnel committee in place this year that met and dialogued with Gil, and was chaired by Marilyn O'Leary, who did a phenomenal job, and Doug Bowe, myself, and Sherry Noon. And we came away with the overall consensus Gil's responses were really candid. He set some fabulous goals for us for the coming year. You'll see them in the bulletin this upcoming Thursday. And we wanted to take a moment just to, Carmela, can we borrow you for a second? I know I didn't warn you. Come here, fast. Come here. Fast. Okay. The signs of what's happening at RGCSL are really, really good. We ended up having to give our minister a significant bonus because of the growth in the size of our community and the growth in terms of the collections that are coming in. You look at that calendar right now, it's crazy in terms of all the different things, women's groups, drumming circles, all the kind of stuff. And so we just want to offer a prayer. First, we want to give this guy a round of applause. He's become like a brother. We work together really, really well, which really helps the whole thing we do. And he also, don't take him to a concert at Pope Joy. He's the loudest singer and clapper, and especially with Broadway tunes. So he joins me, Mike, and Miguel, and for 3 hours once a month. He's an honorary gay man. So he's far-reaching in terms of, which is why we're growing. So I would just like us to offer a prayer. Not too long. Okay, is that okay? Okay. All right. I'll even hold the mic for you. And if we would all just extend our hands, and if you just come center here, because we need to bless you and continue the blessings that are coming to this center through you. Thank you. You say the prayer.
I say the prayer?
Yeah, you're better at it than I am.
No, what are you praying for?
We're praying for Gil's continued blessings on our center. No. You be quiet. You're receiving. Okay.
As we raise our hands, honoring the awareness that comes forth for all that we have grown, all that has come forth for us, for bringing our own desires being heard, being felt at a heart level, for all that we want to bring forth in prayer, in service to others. And I know that as we give, we receive, and how beautiful it is. And we take this moment to honor our Reverend Gil for all that he has brought forth for us in this center, knowing that we are going forth in unity, joined at a heart level. And for this, I know it is also, and it is so good, for God is good. God is goodness, and so it is.
Thank you, everyone. Amy's going to sing us out. Prayers available in the prayer garden from the practitioners. The rest of us are going through to the social hall so that our friends from Unity can start setting up. All right.
If you want to stand, stand. If you want to sit, sit. If you want to dance, dance. Y'all can sing on this one too, because I know you know it. It's so beautiful and lovely. Wherever you are, wherever you go, you're still in our hearts. You still belong here. If we don't see you, wherever you go, you still in our heart. You still belong here. And when you reach return. We will be right here. You're still in our hearts. You still belong here. You're still in our hearts. You still belong here. Oh, we have a guest.